really the reason why I wanted to get up and say a word is about the raising of the age for wearing a motorcycle helmet. I don't know that there was really any adequate testimony in opposition this year, and I think that's unfortunate. I think that maybe that happens because not enough people are aware of the policy actually being before the legislature. I can promise you if this becomes law, people will become aware of it, and they will be upset about it, and rightfully so. And I just want to briefly state my objection to it. First and foremost, for me, we've been through this many, many times. We pass a lot of different laws dictating the age that someone can do something. A few years ago, we changed the age to purchase cigarettes, for example, from 18 to 21, and I objected to that also. Again, I'm not trying to encourage anyone to smoke, but we, in our state legislature, in our country, effectively, we've established that 18 is the age of majority. That's when you become an adult. You can serve in the military, for crying out loud. You can die for your country, but you can't buy a pack of cigarettes. And here we're suggesting that you can die for your country, but yet you cannot wear a helmet on a motorcycle. It's a frustration because this is like a paramount decision, I believe, for the individual. When someone has to make a decision about whether they're going to perform an action that has an element of risk, the decision about how they take that on, assuming it doesn't affect any other party, should be left solely to them, in my view. This is why I don't agree with seatbelt laws either. If you want to wear a seatbelt or don't want to wear a seatbelt, that does not affect any other individual in the world except for you. Now, you could get into whether or not there may be an increase in the likelihood of injury and so forth, and maybe that does impact society in some way. But at the end of the day, that's really your choice about your life and your concerns. Seatbelts, in my view, is a far better argument than motorcycle helmets, though, because I will tell you that I'm somebody who actually has experience. I've been on a motorcycle since I was a small child. I raced motorcycles in my life. I ride a motorcycle almost every day in the summer. And I can tell you that this decision is very personal, and it has to do with safety. Because in my view, the decision, number one, should be left to the individual rider to decide whether or not it is safer to wear a helmet or not. And I think for the layperson who is listening to this, they would automatically assume, oh, well, wearing a helmet is obviously safer. But remember that wearing a helmet also limits your ability to hear and see. And I make a calculation every time I get on a motorcycle in the summer. If I decide that I'm going to take a ride on some leisurely back roads where I'm not likely to run into any traffic anywhere, and my number one concern is maybe someone pulling out of a driveway or something like that, my hearing and sight is more important to my public safety than putting a helmet on. And in my view, I'm safer without it. Now, if I'm in traffic and the likelihood of actually ending up in an accident that's no fault of my own because of the circumstances, I'll wear a helmet in those cases. But the decision is mine. The decision is mine. And I do not like the fact that that decision is being taken away from people like me who are going to make an educated choice about what they should do to preserve their own safety. And that decision is ultimately going to be made by some busybodies in the legislature who don't have any direct experience with the subject. And for me, that's wrong. And I just wanted to get up and say that should be a bright line about what the age of majority is, first and foremost. And we need to remember our obligation here is to preserve the rights of our constituents and not to tell them how to live their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sampson. Will you remark further? Will you remark further? If not, the machine is open. Mr. Clerk.
Immediate roll call vote has been ordered in the Senate. An immediate roll call vote has been ordered in the Senate. We're voting on Senate Bill 1377, an act implementing the recommendation of the Department of Transportation as amended by Senate A. An immediate roll call vote has been ordered in the Senate on Senate Bill 1377 as amended by Senate A, an act implementing the recommendations of the Department of Transportation. An immediate roll call vote in the Senate. Immediate roll call vote in the Senate.
Clerk, would you announce the tally, please?
Senate Bill 1377 as amended. Total number voting 35, total voting 8, 31, total voting 8, 4, absent not voting 1.
Legislation passed.